And hey there, YouTube and Facebook. This is Dr. Brooke Goldner from Goodbye Lupus, and I'm here coming to you live like I do on Wednesdays. We call it Wellness Wednesday, but it's a time for me to get to be here to support you. It's my public service to give back, try to help as many of you as I can with your questions around health, wellness, food, happiness, whatever it is that's on your mind that I can help with. I'm happy to do that. This can't substitute for medical advice, but I'm doing my best to help all of you as best as I can. Make sure you talk to your doctors if you're considering changing anything based off something you hear from me or anybody else, all right? So let us get going. Hey, look at Instagram is filling up there. Facebook, YouTube. All right, I see questions already coming in. I wanted to tell you something kind of cool that I was thinking about. Well, I think it's cool, but it was in my brain. So in the morning, I'm really lucky that where my boot camp is right next to a field where there's horses grazing. Okay, so I get to see these beautiful horses every day, and the smell is not so great, but the view is absolutely beautiful. Anyway, I was looking at these horses and I was thinking about the fact that every single day I see them eating the same thing, and it's grass. Every day, same thing, and they are buff. Like they are lean, low body fat, muscular, all those muscles built off of grass, getting the protein they need. And I was just thinking about how I remember as a kid, I was allowed to give sugar cubes to this horse sometimes when I was at camp. And they said, every once in a while, give a horse a sugar cube. And I gave the horse a sugar cube, and the horse freaking loved it. The horse, just nuzzled it right up, and he was just jumping around, having a good time, was really happy. And I was thinking today, I bet, right now, the horses are not bored with their diet. They, every day, are just going right to it and eating grass all day long like they've always done, like they're meant to do. And I was thinking, what if I put a pile of sugar cubes down in the field? I wonder what would happen. I know what would happen. They would eat the sugar cubes. They would eat all the sugar cubes. What if I gave them a choice every day between sugar cubes and grass? My prediction is that all of these horses would stop eating grass and would switch over to eating nothing but sugar cubes, and they would become fat and diabetic and disabled and sick. That's my prediction. And that's really what we've done to ourselves, right? We have a diet we were meant to have. We are from this earth, unless you're an alien, maybe you're an alien, but I'm from this earth. I'm assuming you're from this earth. And on this earth, there are the animals like us that are here. And then the food that feeds the animals is also here, right? And so when you look at the earth, it's mostly green, right? It's mostly leaves, it's mostly green. Then there's some fruit trees, but they're not everywhere. It's not like covered in fruit trees, although some of you would love it to be, right? But we got mostly green. We got some fruit trees, the occasional nut tree. Now, the nuts are pretty hard to get. I watched a movie once of chimpanzees trying to eat nuts, and they were working all day with the rocks, and they had to work hard to get one nut. It's not like they couldn't get a container or roast it, right? But anyway, that's what's here in this earth. And when we eat the things that are here on this earth, when we eat the vegetables and the fruits, the things that grow from the earth, we get healthier. Right? I mean, I teach that every day. You can access that information for free. You don't even have to sit here this hour with me, right? When we eat the foods we're meant to eat, our health goes through the roof. When we eat the wrong things, our health goes down, right? That's simple. Everybody understands that, right? But the problem is that for a lot of folks I see, they tell me that the foods I'm telling them to eat are boring. They're boring. I need variety. It's so boring. I don't want to eat like a rabbit or like a cow or, like a human's meant to eat. It's just so boring. It's not fun like my pizza and burgers and French fries and chips and all this other stuff. And I realized looking at the horses that food is supposed to be boring. Like every other animal on the planet eats the same thing every day. They just eat their food every day forever, and they don't even think about it. But humans, we are a clever species, and we're clever to our own detriment in a lot of cases. And we've figured out how to live off the sugar cubes. We have used chemicals to create highly addictive substances. I call them food-like substances. They're not food. All the chips, all the stuff with the chemicals, all the stuff that never goes bad. We've invented all these things. We've hijacked the reward pathway of our brains. that reward pathway was designed to reinforce things that give us life. So eating, sexual reproduction, things like that. We're supposed to get a reward pathway for that. But we've hijacked it so much that the things that we're not supposed to eat that we have now become accustomed to. So all the processed junk, the animal products all the time, every meal, dairy, like the breast milk of another species. Like we've introduced all these things that give us tons of reward pathway dopamine in our brains that we can't even look at the food we were meant to eat without going, oh, that just looks boring. That looks plain. But the key is your food is not supposed to be your entertainment. It's supposed to nourish you, right? So it's it is the reason for most people why this is hard. The nutrition is freaking simple. I teach it all the time. It is so simple, right? It is simple. I'm like, eat your vegetables, eat your omega-3s, drink your water. It is simple, 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 okay? But it's not easy. Why? Because you're addicted to the other stuff. That reward pathway finds the food that works for you to be boring. If a horse has been on sugar cubes for 5 years and you offer him hay, he's not going to want it. And so I think it's a really important thing to just consciously recognize that right now, the things that make you heal might be completely unappealing. I have someone in my group right now who's struggling with that. We're trying to help her that she just doesn't like raw vegetables, even though it's what her body needs. It's like, whoa, I don't even want to look at it. And so we're trying to work with her on pushing past the mental block to get to what you need to do to survive. Like sometimes we have to do things we don't like to survive and to get our health back. But it's a common problem. That's why people do things like my groups. We can work with them every day to help them figure out what's blocking them and help them get past it so they can get to the life they want. So they could just eat simply again and be able to get their health back. So I just was thinking about it. And you know, the only animals that become, you know, fat are the animals that humans take care of, really, right? I mean, you don't see in nature like a lion walking around obese or a rabbit obese, you know, or anything like that. The animals that humans feed are the ones that get obese. There's a feral cat that lives over by the horses, but he is obese because he's not just hunting on his own. He goes house to house and gets fed all the treats from people that live nearby, right? So it's just an important thing to realize and to be consciously aware of, that when you're trying to uncouple yourself from the foods that got you sick, it is difficult, not just because of habit, not because of willpower, but because of physical addiction. And it's why I teach people how to add self-care into your life. And under self-care, I'm not talking about brushing your teeth. I'm talking about activities that make you happy, because you need to replace the benefit that you're getting from that reward pathway with something else. You need to have fun. You need to be happy, because otherwise your brain will always take you back to what was giving it those rewards to begin with. So that's where that is the method behind what I do, right? The Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol is in my book, Goodbye Autoimmune Disease. I talk about it all the time. The emotional part is so important for a lot of people. You know, there are some people who could read Goodbye Lupus and just go, yeah, I'll do that. And they don't have food addiction and they're able to do it. Or they're so motivated because they're dying or their organs are failing that it overrides their addictive feelings and they're able to keep going. But for other folks, they need that emotional work. So it's something to be aware of. You're not broken, you're not weak, you're addicted. And still, the right food for you is the stuff that's grown from the planet, okay? So anyway, I just wanted to give you, that's what I think about when I work out. What do you think about when you work out? All right, let's see what's going on over here on YouTube. Okay, so Sharon wants to know, has anyone ever healed tinnitus with hypernourishment? Thanks for all you do. So tinnitus is ringing in the ears. Yes and no. So there's so many different reasons why people have ringing in their ears. And sometimes it's a result of issues or pressure in the head. Sometimes it's from injury. Sometimes it's neurological. Some people have gotten tinnitus from COVID. Some have gotten it from the vaccine, right? So there's and those people usually had it to begin with, but it got worse. So that's been something we've been seeing happen. So what I've seen is for some people who work with me, their tinnitus goes away completely and others they don't. So sometimes I think it really depends on the cause and whether or not it's inflammatory versus damage. Like I have a friend who he's had tinnitus ever since he was a teenager and he's in his 70s, but he got it because he got into a fight where somebody just punched him right in the side of the head and it's been ringing ever since. And he's plant-based and, you know, it hasn't gone away. That was an injury. All right, let's see. Facebook. Facebook. Hey, Karen, it's good to see that you're here. Hi, Shay. Let me see, Facebook. All right, Tom wants to know any feedback on smoothie protocol and its effects on AFib. Yes, we've had people eliminate AFib in our rapid recovery group and privately. We actually have definitely seen that. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's go to Instagram. Pardon me while I scroll. Let's see. Messenger Inc. I'm so glad to hear that. Saving your life. Let's see. Forrest Shiggity wants to know, does drinking smoothie count towards our water intake? Yes. So I count the water that you put into the smoothie when you made it, not the total volume of the smoothie, but the water that you put in when you made it. Let's get one more over here. All right. And Zavilic wants to know, how do you prevent feeling bloated after smoothies? Actually, this is a good question because someone just emailed me this and it's a question that comes up. So maybe I can clarify a little bit. Somebody emailed me that every time they have smoothies or raw vegetables, they get bloated. And so they concluded that meant that they are getting inflammation from the vegetables and that's not good for them. Bloating is not inflammation. Bloating is not inflammation. So bloating is the extension of your intestines when they get filled up. So much so that they start to put pressure on the muscles of your stomach and you can start to feel them that way, right? So what can cause bloating? Bloating comes from what's inside there, right? So for example, when you eat a high fiber diet, so I eat a super high fiber diet, it's a mostly fiber diet, right? It's all fiber diet. When you eat a high fiber diet and you're not used to it, what happens is when fiber goes into your gut, fiber pulls water into the gut. By the way, that's how fiber helps people go to the bathroom. So when people get constipated, the reason that fiber helps is because fiber is sitting in the gut and it pulls water into the gut. And then the water assists the poop leaving the system, right? So if you're dehydrated, that's one of the reasons why you're constipated, right? So when people eat fiber, it pulls water in. So think of it this way. If you're suddenly putting at least a pound of deep, high fiber vegetables into your gut, and for the first time ever, you're drinking a gallon of water a day or 90 gallons of water a day, guess what's filling up your gut? Fibers, vegetables, and all that water. It's literally just filling up your belly. That's what's in there. So the bloat is what's in there pushing your belly out. Sometimes people get gassy, especially if you're not used to eating this way. Your current bacteria that were used to your old diet don't know how to digest what's in your new diet. And so that also gas will fill up those bowels too, and it'll inflate them like a balloon. But that's not inflammation. So what we found is that when you're changing over your diet, especially to something that's not a high raw diet or even not a plant-based diet, there's a period of adjustment that has to happen for your gut. But that does not mean that you're having inflammation. In fact, what I see often is that even while people's bellies are bloated out, they have to wear stretchy pants, their rings go back on and their ankles are no longer have edema or swelling. And so they're healing and their gut's like, right? And that's okay. There are things that we do to mitigate that, like to try to reduce that. So for example, if you space out your meals, so you're having like a meal every couple hours, that kind of allows the gut to empty a bit more, move things along and not just build up. Sometimes you can kind of try to reduce the total fiber, like using flax oil instead of flax seeds. And you can do things like probiotics, but ultimately it's going to take time and getting used to it. But it might be something that you have to tolerate a bit while your body's getting used to it. The funny thing is now I can have a smoothie with a salad. I have zero bloat. I am perfectly fine. I have a bite of something with oil. I blow up like I'm pregnant again. And so it's interesting. My gut now reacts immediately like, ooh, it makes me gassy and uncomfortable. Whereas I could eat literally, like I have done it before. I know it's like overachieving, but I'll be finishing my smoothie and working on a salad and it doesn't affect me. So eventually your gut adjusts, your bacteria like your food, and then you won't have that problem in the same way. The other thing to be aware of with bloating is it's more visible in people who are thin, and it's more visible if you don't have a lot of muscle tissue, right? So for people who are obese, they might not be able to perceive the changes, at least visually, of the bloat. people who are very thin, especially don't have much muscle tissue, as soon as their intestines blow up, you can see it. It's just, it's visual. It's right there under the skin. Like this, the intestines are right there. So it's like your intestines, a little bit of fat, your muscles, your skin, right? So if you're really small, you can see those changes a lot more. That's something to be aware of. So also getting really good muscles in those abs and core also can help control it. There's other things people do, like you can do certain exercises, yoga, to reduce bloat. I was trying to help someone in my group with that once, and I found a yoga video. And the reason I knew it was a good video, it was a yoga, I don't remember whose it was, but it was a yoga video for bloat. And the comments were awesome. The comments were like, this is the best. I had a 30-second fart while doing this. Like, like people are just so excited. So, there's things you can do to kind of manage it while you're working on your gut, getting used to it. But that's okay. It's part of the process, right? Okay, let me see here. So, go back up to YouTube. Okay. Bianca says, hi, Dr. G. I'm a dialysis case. I got a 1v1 and a rush like 1 minute ago. Okay, I was going to say, I don't recognize your name. When should I expect it to be scheduled? In a few months or so. Okay, so if you schedule a rush appointment with me, so I know right now my regular appointments are scheduled out to, I think, the end of February. But if you do a rush add-on, I add time to my schedule. Right now, rush appointments get in about 8 weeks. Thanksgiving's kind of putting a little bit of a bend in it, but so far I've been able to do a rush in 8 weeks. So when I get done with the Q&A, I'll go check to see where the rush appointments are, and I'll add it to my schedule. Okay, let's see here. All right, so TX Rain Lily, what are the signs and symptoms of food sensitivities? Good lupus protocol since May 1st. My Hashimoto's antibodies haven't budged. I suspect due to food sensitivities, but I've lost 47 pounds and I feel great. So one, it sounds like you're actually getting better. With antibodies have a lifespan. So antibodies come down as you don't make more and the old ones die off. Now, normally I start to see them coming down when people have been on this regularly for at least a couple months, but I also don't know when you took your origin test. So sometimes people are comparing this year's test to last year's test, and you can't do that because let's say this year and last year, they are the same, right? But you've been on the Goodbye Lupus protocol, right? So what you don't know is that it went like this all year, and now it's doing this, and it's actually getting better. And how do we know that? Because your next test will be down here, right? So if you took tests like back to back, month to month, and they're still the same, we'll go, okay, they haven't died off yet. But if there's been more time between tests, then it might be that this is just going to be your starting test, and we'll watch it from here. But the antibodies do go down. I've helped a lot of people reverse Hashimoto's, and it works really well for that. But the fact that you feel great is a really good sign of health, and losing 47 pounds while having low thyroid is also a really good sign. So it sounds like you're on track, you're on your way. But for food sensitivity, so there's different things. So I'm signs, I'm trying to, how do I simplify it? So food sensitivity could be looked at a couple ways. There's actual allergy. If you have allergy, then you might have things like your throat closing, hives, things like that. A lot of times sensitivity is just like that symptoms aren't budging, even though the diet is looking really good. Neither of those sounds like what you're going through, though. Sounds like you are getting better and you're feeling better, and maybe we just have to track your antibodies a little longer. But let's wait and see. All right, let's see. Let's look for Facebook. All right, Shay wants to know, avascular necrosis from lupus and steroids, will my bone heal with hypernourishment? I need a hip replacement. I doubt that. I wish that was the case, but necrosis means like it has rotted. And unfortunately, you don't get blood flow of all the nutrients into an avascular joint. So avascular means that there's no vasculature, right? Like you're not getting nutrition from the bloodstream into that area. Hypernourishment works by putting nutrients into the bloodstream to feed the different parts of the body. So my guess is it won't necessarily fix that bone. Now, it will help the lupus. It can help you come off the steroids because you don't have the lupus anymore. It can help you heal ridiculously fast from a hip transplant. I mean, go ahead and do it. I've had people tell me that they thought they needed a hip transplant and they didn't because they did the Goodbye Autoimmune protocol and the symptoms went away. I've done that through private rapid recovery programs, but usually avascular necrosis, you've already lost that bone, it's gone. And you're asking if it'll regrow. Not in my experience, but it's still worth doing for all the other reasons that I mentioned. And if it does, tell me so that I can tell the next time. I can tell people next time. Sometimes things happen. I mean, I've been doing this a long time and I'm still shocked by things that happen. In our last group, the newest thing that happened that we've never seen before was somebody was supposed to get a root canal. And then by week 5 of the group, she went to go to the dentist and they said, we don't know why, but you don't need a root canal anymore. So that was new. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that could happen. I started out looking at this for lupus and then it's like, oh my God, glaucoma goes away. Oh my God, HPV goes away. Oh wait. So I'm just, I'm still in shock all the time. And it just reinforces that our bodies actually know how to fix themselves when we give them the right foods and we just get out of the way, right? It's just an amazing thing. But I have not yet ever seen someone do this for avascular necrosis. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I don't see in my mind the pathway to it, but that doesn't mean that it's not possible. I mean, I'm just a limited human. I can't see all things. All right, let's see here. All right, Randy wants to know, thank you for all you do. Do you think 125 pounds is a good weight for a 64-year-old female that's 5'5" and a half? I can't answer that question because it really depends on what the weight is from, right? So if you are 5'5", 125, and you're ripped with muscle and low body fat, I'd say it is. If you're 5'5", 125 pounds, and you've got no muscle and it's all fat, I would say no. So body composition matters much more than weight. That's why I'm always on people about not looking at weight as a way of determining your health. Your health tells you your health. But what the weight is made of is what matters the most. That's really, really important. Okay, let's see. All right, Instagram's turn. All right, let's see. Let's see. Got Alexis says, Tipsy Hill epilepsy. Actually, our Goodbye Lupus protocols worked really well for epilepsy. We've had people who've been seizure-free for years. One guy did the program actually not because of disease. He was trying to work with my husband on fitness, and he started hypernourishing, and his seizures went away, and they were gone for years. And then he decided to start eating meat again out of the blue. I don't know why. I think he had a girlfriend who was cooking for him, and the seizures came back. So we're like, see, now you proved it. Go back to what worked. So that was pretty cool. Too rarely tidy. Why do you add whole flax seeds to smoothies? I've read they're hard for the body to break down. We want them to be intact because the omega-3s will oxidize if you open up the seed. So we let the blender break up the seed. You can't digest it on its own, but when you put it in the blender and it's broken down, then you will digest it. So if you have a Vitamix blender, it can break open the seeds, no problem. If you have a weak blender, then just gently pulse the seeds in a coffee grinder right before you use them, and then that'll work too. Okay, let's see here. While I'm on Instagram, let's do a little more. All right, so this is Nurse Donna. Is your green smoothie safe for someone with hypothyroid who takes Synthroid? Yes, absolutely. So as I said, I mean, more than any other autoimmune disease, I've helped people with Hashimoto's. This is one of the most common autoimmune diseases, and they've been able to oftentimes reverse the disease and get the thyroid function back, lower their medication. I just saw someone today whose TSH went from 5 to 0.2, so that's a common thing in my program. So it's a great idea. Absolutely. All right, let's go back to YouTube over here. All right, I'm pumping through them today. I'm being good. Let's see. Sometimes I get all caught up. Let me see. All right, let's see. Patrilla. Hi, Dr. G. A friend of mine has been on Goodbye Lupus protocol for about a month. She's having persistent issues with high blood pressure and high pulse rate. Can you provide any insight? Well, I don't know what your friend has. I don't know why she has high blood pressure, but I can tell you that she's on the right plan. So it sounds like she just needs more than a month. We also need to make sure she's doing everything right. But our plan brings blood pressure down quickly. I mean, if you saw, even in the case that I published of the woman coming off of the transplant list for kidney failure, she came off 3 blood pressure medicines in 6 weeks. Most people who do my rapid recovery programs, which are very intensive programs where you work with me every day on the most extreme version of our program, the Goodbye Autoimmune Protocol with support every day, most folks in that program have to lower their blood pressure medicines by the 3rd week. So it comes down quickly. So if her blood pressure is just not down yet, it might mean she needs more time, or there might be something else going on. I don't know her issues, so there's no way for me to know. Like if she has a kidney issue, that'd be different than if she has a heart issue versus it's just blood pressure. Yeah, I'd be grasping at straws. But in terms of bringing down blood pressure, this is the right plan. Okay. All right. So Rex says, I'm on the Goodbye Lupus protocol. I have 2 blenders a day, 16 ounces of power greens with 16 ounces of fruit in each. The total of fruits would be 32 ounces. Too much fruit, or is fruit always 24 hours max, no matter how much greens I eat? So sometimes people get really confused with all the numbers because they're trying to figure out like what I teach in the groups versus other things. And it's important to know that, when we do our groups, we're doing an extremely intensive program where we're watching you carefully and we're titrating up foods, at a really extreme level. That's not the same as like what the Goodbye Lupus protocol is. So with the Goodbye Lupus protocol, what you want to do is try to keep your fruits to about 25% of your diet. So right now, I would say if you're trying to do that protocol, you're not, because it is, you're having too much. But I also would say that your results matter. So if you're doing those smoothies and it's working for you and you feel great, you don't have to change it. But if you're like, I'm not really getting the results I'd like, then I would dial those back. I'd put half of the fruit in each one and do it that way instead. Let's see. Peter wants to know, does hypernourishment or the Goodbye Lupus protocol have antimicrobial effects? So does it work as an antimicrobial? In a way, it optimizes immune function. So what it does is it helps people fight infection because the immune system's so effective. So normally what happens is people will do my program because of autoimmune disease or diabetes or cancer or whatever they're going through that they feel like they need extreme nutrition to try to get well. And then once they get well, they find they just don't get sick anymore. I was like that. I mean, when I was thinking back recently about how even through medical school, I was always sick. I had a sinus infection that lasted over 6 months. I had walking pneumonia. I mean, I was always sick. Now I was on immunosuppression and I had autoimmune disease. So my body just couldn't function in terms of just fighting basic bacteria and viruses. Now I don't get sick at all. I mean, and it's like years between any kind of infection might come through here, and it usually lasts no more than 24 hours. So when you look at that, it's like that's an immune system that functions well. So it's not like an antibiotic. Usually when people say antimicrobial, they're talking about something that kills the bacteria on contact, like an antibiotic. It's not that, but it does optimize your immune function, which protects the organism, right? So it's going to protect you against, well, it's going to do its job, protect you against viruses, bacteria, and also things like seeking out and destroying abnormal cells like cancer cells, things like that. A healthy immune system is supposed to do all of those things, but it's not the same as like, I'll drink a smoothie and it just kills the bacteria. Now that said, recent study by Johns Hopkins showed that if you take cruciferous vegetables or sulforaphane that they get from cruciferous vegetables, they use broccoli, and you take like the COVID virus or a flu virus, it kills off their ability to reproduce. I believe it was by 60%. So it's like, so it actually prevents them from reproducing, which gives your immune system more time to kill off what's already there. So that would be, so in those ways, it does protect you. Now that's viral instead of antimicrobial, but I think that's pretty much what you meant. All right, let's see here. Go to Facebook. While I'm looking for questions, you can watch me drink water. All right, sorry if my earpods pick up my swallowing. Let's see. Okay. Sarah Louise, I'm currently breastfeeding. I need to ensure I consume adequate calories. I was diagnosed with lupus 6 weeks post-birth. How do I ensure I get sufficient calories without drowning myself in a smoothie? You just stay full. That's it. Just like the horses don't need to be like, did I have enough calories today? They just eat until they're full. They just eat, right? And you can do the same thing. The best thing you could be doing if you're diagnosed after giving birth is healing yourself. It's good for you. It's good for your baby. If you're nursing, your baby's getting all those nutrients. So yeah, to fullness. I mean, you don't have to worry about calories. Oftentimes when people are nursing, they do need to have even higher water than I normally prescribe because you're losing a lot of fluids through the breast milk. I'm glad you're getting healthy. All right, let's see here. Hi, Shari. All right. Hi, Laura. Like how some of you just say hi. Let's see. Yeah, Carlene, I can't give you a recommendation on a medication. Sorry, that's one for your doctors. All right. You guys liked my talk about the horses. I'm so glad. All right, let's see. All right. Come on, where's the Facebook? YouTube is just taking over here. Let's see. All right, here we go. Melinda wants to know, when doing a Goodbye Autoimmune protocol, already taking HRT, do you recommend decreasing HRT once symptoms resolve? Are there benefits for remaining on it? This is one for the prescriber. I am not a hormone specialist. What I've been happy to see is for a lot of people with hormonal illnesses, they just tend to go away once we're on our plan. Sometimes it's too good. We have now 2 people who thought they were in menopause for over a year, and now they're menstruating again because their body reversed the aging process. That's what my program does. It reverses the aging and damage to organs. Don't worry, all menopausal people. I don't think that's across the board, but that was kind of interesting. We've seen people with infertility become fertile suddenly. So it could benefit your hormones, but how to manage those medicines, that is something for your doctor. Okay. And let's see. Oh my Lord. You're not next, but I'm going to read it because I can see it. CDN says, when I ask my doctor to test my vitamin D level, she says you can't. And she'll know I'm low if I have problems doing something. I don't get it. Your doctor doesn't get it either. So ask another doctor or pay out of pocket to get it. But that is just, that's just irrational. I can't explain why other people are wrong. All right, let's see. Forest Chickadee, you just trying to provoke me. She wants to know, can avocado make people gain weight? No, avocado does not make it. You can eat unlimited avocados while working out and doing all your stuff. It's just going to help you. Avocados lower your cholesterol and they do not become body fat. I know that like there's people with really catchy expressions about, any fat you eat, it becomes on your body. I'm not going to paraphrase, but like people, but it's not true. Fats become many different things. They become hormones, they become immune cells, they become parts of cell membranes, and some fats can become body fat, but avocados are not one of them. So you can enjoy your avocados even if you're trying to lose weight. People do the opposite. Like, I need to gain weight. I'm going to eat 10 avocados a day. It doesn't work. The only weight you gain is the weight of how heavy those avocados are in your belly. Okay. Let's see here. So Amanda, my ANA went from 1 to 30 to 1 to 1280. I have positive TPO, mild hypothyroidism, symptoms of POTS. Not sure I should take medicine. Well, one thing you can definitely do is you can do my Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol because it'll help you with all these things. So you have a positive ANA, right? So 130 is not positive, but 1 to 1280 definitely is, right? So you need to start taking care of yourself to get that inflammation down. And so my program is the one for that. Same thing with the TPO, right? Those are antibodies that are associated with the autoimmune disease of Hashimoto's. So you have autoimmune disease and the POTS as well, right? My protocol has been able to help people reverse both of those things. So I would recommend that you do that. Do the Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol. Let's get you healthy. In terms of medicine, that would be based off of your symptoms, right? So if you have issues with your blood pressure, if you're having issues with your thyroid and you're feeling like garbage, medicines are a good way to manage that, okay? So I prescribe medicines to patients while I'm working on these things if they need them, right? So if somebody's thyroid is really low, they need thyroid hormone, right? That's the battery pack of our body. If you don't take thyroid hormone, you're going to break down, right? Your brain's not going to work right. Your whole body's not going to work right. You're going to be overweight, slow, cold. It's really, and it can become dangerous. Okay. So if you need it symptom-wise, take it while also doing the program that can help you heal so that you can then not need it anymore. So I'm not anti-medicine. I'm anti only trying to rely on medicine to continue to be healthy, because it doesn't work. I'm alive today because I took medication. If it wasn't for chemotherapy, high dose steroids, blood thinners, I would have been gone at 16. I would have been gone in my 20s. I would not be here. You would never know my face. So medicines kept me alive long enough so I could figure out how to get healthy. So at 46, I have zero health problems, or I was chronically dying for 12 years of my life. I don't have health problems now. So now I don't take medicines because I don't need them anymore, right? So that's the goal. Use them if you need them. It's not going to stop you from getting better. But then the goal is to minimize your need for them. That's the goal. Okay. So you'll be okay either way, but talk to your doctor about that. Because like I said, with things like, I get nervous when people have low thyroid and they don't take thyroid hormone, because your body's just not going to function properly and you can put yourself in danger. You end up in a coma. So now I just created anxiety for people, but with severe cases. But I'm just saying, sometimes you need medicine to kind of be a patch while you're working on getting your health back. So I am not against that at all. I want everyone to be alive and feel good, whatever it takes to do that. All right, let's see. Let me scroll back up to YouTube. What time is it? Oh, we got time. All right, let's see. Peter wants to know, is leaving all the fruit out of Goodbye Lupus protocol even more beneficial? I have found, yes, that it is. Most people get really great results as long as they minimize the fruit. But every once in a while, somebody stops getting results and they get stuck, or they're just not seeing it, and we take the fruit out and then it just accelerates. Why? I'm not even pretend to know. But that's just what we've seen. So for most people, you can do fine just having your fruits, but keeping them more minimal. But every once in a while, we find that taking them out is the key. Let's see. Felicia, has hypernourishing helped with osteoporosis? Yes, absolutely. So when you're trying to reverse osteoporosis, two things. One, hypernourishing plant-based diet. Two, strength training. All right. People just taking calcium hoping that their bones will heal is like people drinking protein drinks hoping they'll grow muscle. It doesn't work. Your bone density is very strongly tied to your muscle density. So if you want to build bone density, you build up the strength of the muscles that are holding up those bones. So that's really, if you are very weak or can be injured, you go to a physical therapist and said, I need to build up my strength so I can have better bone density. If you don't have any injuries and you can work with a personal trainer, they can come up with strength training for you. But it is an important key that nobody wants to talk about, nobody wants to do, and yet it's so important. It's one of the reasons why I do weight training. I don't, when I was younger, I worked out because of vanity. I was just trying to keep myself from, I wanted to not get fatter, try to keep myself to a certain size. So whenever I'd start to get out of hand, I'd hit the gym and try to burn it off, right? Now I easily stay thin because my diet, I don't, I don't get fatter. I stay the same. But I do the weight training, I do the exercise because of the benefits to my heart, my brain, my immune system, and for my bones. I don't want fragile bones. And I had years and years of super high dose steroids and all that stuff. I mean, that stuff just dissolves your bones. So it's really important. So make sure you're finding a way to do that weight training and build up that muscle tone, and that's going to help your bone density. Okay, let's see here. All right. Lake Davis, hey there. I broke my ankle. Oh no. What should I do? I've been doing your program since March 2019 when I did rapid recovery with you, and I've been symptom free ever since. So first of all, I'm really excited. That's 4 years symptom free. So woo, that's awesome. You broke your ankle. Well, there's no fast track to healing that ankle besides making sure you're well nourished, which you are, and staying off of it. I mean, that bone is going to mend itself as fast as possible when you give itself all the ingredients for cellular repair, which is what my program does. And then you got to just leave it alone and let it heal. I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds excruciating. I hope you're feeling better really soon. And congratulations on being well for all these years. I'd love to hear the story of what you did, though. Awesome, Diana. Bananas running on your protocol for 2 years now. It works. Yes. All right. All right. Life Journey Gal. I enjoy salads. I get bored with dressings. Would you consider writing a healthy recipes for dressings? Yes, there's a chapter in my new book that's all about dressings. We are closer than ever. I actually just today sent the most recent edit where I think it's all done. Now she's got to do the things that I said, but we're getting really close now. Like I'm super excited. It's beautiful. So, but I'm also obsessing about it being right because this is like the most anticipated book I've ever written. I swear, if there's a typo, everyone's going to be like, ah. So I'm like more nervous to publish this than anything else ever before because everybody's like so excited about it. So, but yes, there's a whole bunch in there. Some really good ones too. Let's see. Okay, let me go back over here. So the Facebook, YouTube side of things. Let me help this person out here. So Oceanfront Cabin says, I signed up for an appointment with you, but I haven't received anything. Where will I find this information? Well, I'm going to look right now because when you sign up, you should absolutely get an email sent to you. Usually when I see that happen, somebody let their device sign them up with like their Facebook email and they just, it went somewhere else. And sometimes it went into their junk mail because you know what? I'm looking up your name right now and you did not sign up for anything. So it says, I see you created an account, but you must never have hit enter to put it through. So you created an account for yourself, but there actually is no appointment. Nothing was charged. Yeah, it's empty. So try one more time. And then if you have a problem, email me, drg@goodbyelupus.com and put all caps like issue with appointment, and I will get on with you after the Q&A and we'll fix it. But yeah, you didn't actually succeed with making the appointment. So that is why, sorry that you had that problem, but now we know. Now we know. Okay, let's see. This is customer service line, live customer service. Let's see. Eden, spinach or kale, which is preferred in the smoothie? Whichever one you like better. Are walnuts okay for omega-3s? No, they are not. Walnuts are mostly omega-6. So they do have a good amount of omega-3, but they have more omega-6. So if you're trying to boost your omega-3 relative to your omega-6, you need the flax and chia seeds. Now, if you're just hypernourishing and you're not unhealthy, then also have walnuts and other things, but I would still include the flax or chia seeds. Okay. Okay, let's see. Mala Shah, my daughter's friend's mom just found out today she has stage 4 brain cancer, 4 large and 2 small tumors. Do you think your recovery plan can help? First of all, I'm so sorry to hear that. I don't know. I don't know how advanced this is. I don't have any details. Can it help the immune system with the process of fighting cancer, with optimizing the immune response that will help the body fight cancer? Let me say it that way. Yes. Will it help her recover faster from any kind of treatments? Yes. Is it enough on its own? I wouldn't do that. I would do everything. When it comes to cancer, I would do everything. And brain cancer, one of the problems with tumors in the brain is there's nowhere for it to go, right? Our brains are in this hard casing. So it's, usually there has to be some surgery if it's possible, because there's just no room for the added pressure. So I would do whatever, I'd be talking to those doctors, but it will support her recovery. That I would recommend in addition to whatever other treatments that she would need. Okay. Facebook. Let's see. All right. So Janet, I have diabetes too, now well controlled at an A1C of 5.4 down from 7. Nice. High blood pressure, now more average at 116/74. Good. Overall cholesterol 107. B meds cut in half, and hopefully the meds in 6 months more. This has helped me a lot. Oh, I thought it was a question. It was just a celebration. Yay. I was waiting for the question. I'm like, this is just a celebration. So reversing diabetes, high blood pressure, and cholesterol all at the same time. Beautiful. And that's what I'm happy to see. I love seeing people celebrate here. This is the reason that I donate my time. It's the reason why I release my protocol, do all those things, because I want to see all of you get better. Someone just told me today, it just broke my heart. She didn't want to wait for my January group. And so she found a guy who's supposed to be famous, lots of followers online. He could get her in right away, which should have been a warning sign. Charged her almost $7,000 and told her to hypernourish. And she's like, no, you didn't just say that. After he told her to do bone broth and meat, he then said that. So if you're listening, like warning to other people, that's our protocol. So you can learn how to hypernourish for free. And if you want even more free support, go to smoothieshred.com, free recipes there, free videos. You don't have to enter your name or email address. There's just it's just a free resource. If you want to join our Facebook group, Smoothie Shred, if you go to smoothieshred.com, there's a link to our Facebook group. It's a free community. We're trying our best to help people for free. And so I love when I get to see people celebrating that. It rewards me that yes, this is working. Helping people this way is working. And that's what I want to see. So somebody else, don't just search Smoothie Shred, because there's some guy using my picture and the name Smoothie Shred to advertise his own stuff. My picture. It's not recent. It's me with a bob, and it's like a screenshot. I can't get Facebook to take it down, but that's not me. Especially because there's a big piece of chicken as the main cover photo. So just, this is come to the source, get it for free, but let us know. Let us know you're doing well, because it means so much to us to know that we're making a difference. Okay, let's see. All right. Let's see. Irma wants to know, can your program reduce inflammation, immunoglobulin A? Yes, we've had people reduce it, like IgA nephropathy, for example. Maria wants to know, how do I bring my complement levels up? So complement goes down when your body is creating so much inflammation that it uses it up. So it's a protein in the immune pathway, and your body has to make it. So when inflammation is really high and you're very sick, you use up complement proteins so quickly that the levels go down because you use it up faster than you can make more. That's why when you're sick, complement's down, even though inflammatory markers are up. So your complement coming up just takes time. And I've seen that for some folks, sometimes it takes a good amount of time. Sometimes I'll see other markers are all normal, inflammation's fine, the antibodies look good, and the complement's still working its way up one at a time, just getting there. Sometimes it can take months. So I don't worry about it too much. As long as all the other markers are moving in the right direction, it'll get there. Okay, let's see. One more here, and then I'm coming back to you, Instagram. Let's see. Misty wants to know if it can help with SIBO, microscopic colitis, and Hashimoto's. Absolutely. Low FODMAP will never heal your gut. It's like saying it hurts for me to stand up, so just never stand anymore. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to get worse and worse and worse. You need fiber. And I've helped a lot of people heal from those illnesses using all of our fiber. We just have to work out the gut and get it used to it and help them get to the point they can get it all in. So it's kind of like, this hurts, don't do that, and then you'll never be able to do it again. So it's unfortunate. Susan, yes, it addresses adrenal fatigue. Okay, let's come back over here. I'll read this one too. It's not a question, but it's cool. So Merritt Gull says 30 years with CFS and changed to happy and energetic at 67. After 4 months on the Goodbye Lupus protocol and 2 to 3 months on hypernourishment, I have more energy than ever, and I'm never going to stop drinking my smoothies. So cool. Yeah, let's see here. Darling Cruel wants to know, how do you bring the pH in your body, acidity, showing acidity down? You eat an alkaline diet, which is exactly what I'm teaching you how to do. So, wanted to know, no inflammation markers, but still dealing with fatigue and dry skin and brain fog. So one, make sure you check your thyroid, because those can all be involved in that. 2, make sure you're getting some exercise, because exercise also helps with these things. And sometimes people are missing that part of health, okay? And if you're still struggling, then maybe circle back and have me check out what you're doing to make sure you're not missing anything. Okay, let's see. And then Lenny wants to know, hello, Dr. Brooks, thank you for all. What happens if I take too much omega-3, like too much flax seeds? I love them so much. Whenever someone asks that, I start to get really curious, like what we're talking about. Like I picture a bathtub full of flax seeds. In general, we've tested it and we have never seen any negative effect. So usually your gut will tell you when it's too much. But in terms of bringing inflammation down, bringing metabolism up, health recovery, we haven't seen any problems using flax or chia seeds, no matter what people have read or have suggested or theorized. In reality, we're the people testing it, and there hasn't been a downside. Usually your gut will tell you when it's too much, because you'll either get constipated or loose stool or something, or bloated or pain or something, where it'll be like, it's enough. But I always get curious about what people mean when they start asking those things. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Okay. So Abdu wants to know, is it normal to get a high lab test triglycerides by losing weight? Not in my experience, it isn't. Let's see. Okay. Yoga, bliss dance. I gave a friend healthy food to visit. I gave healthy food to a visiting friend, and she got constipated and wouldn't believe me that it was a change in her diet because her normal SAD diet is so little fiber. Yeah, not only do our taste buds and brain not recognize the right food for us anymore, but our whole body does it. So it's kind of like, so even in my boot camp right now, I have like just an amazing assortment of people. And one is a retired woman who's never exercised in her life, someone else who's really overweight, all this stuff. Everyone's at different levels and they're struggling just to do basic exercises, right? Because their body hasn't been challenged to do that. But they're getting better and better. The retired woman I've been working out with since the beginning of summer, she suddenly went from slow walking to like speed walking. She's walking with weights, right? So what felt really difficult now has become really simple. The gut is kind of like that, right? That if it's supposed to get a daily workout with that fiber and just like push it along and just, we're working, right? But if it's never having to do that because it's getting just meat and dairy, stuff that's just kind of rotting in the gut and just sludging along, the muscles get weak. There are muscles that are supposed to do this work. So sometimes even though it's fiber, which should help people go, it can constipate people whose guts are so weak that they can't even squeeze along the fiber that's supposed to help them go. I do work with those people to help them start to get themselves there. It's difficult at first, but boy, once they get there and then they can eat the right foods, their health goes up and they feel so much better. I had somebody just tell me the other day, she had just finished my rapid recovery program, my 4-week program. And she said, I feel like I've been running on low bars, like, your phone. So I've been running on low bars my whole life. And this is the first time I'm at full bars. Just, whoa, I didn't even know you could feel this way. So she feels more energetic now than before she was sick. So I thought that was just such a cool comment about what's possible for us, right? So let's see here. Try to rapid fire as many as I can coming out here. Ralph, I've gained 90 pounds taking insulin. Can I eat salad and fruit to lose this horrible weight gain? High fiber food has high carbs and this insulin's killing me, doc. Yes. So I have taught this before. If you look up diabetes on my YouTube, you'll be able to see I've taught the mechanism of diabetes. It comes from fats, not carbs. So I've helped people reverse type 2 diabetes, type 1.5 diabetes, and even people with type 1 diabetes get to lower their insulin because they are less insulin resistant when doing this program. So they all are doing the program with the fruit and with the smoothies. And yes, at first, if you still have leftover fats clogging your insulin receptors in the first week or so, your sugars might show up. But then after that, they drop. And people have to lower their insulin or they're going to be woozy. So it really does work for you. And I agree. It is a really hard medicine to take and you can get better. So definitely do this. All right. Let's see here. No omega-2s you need to have are. Let's see. Okay, Ro wants to know, what's the difference between a psychiatric exam versus a full wellness consultation? Oh, so that's for people making appointments. So I see people for medical appointments who are in the areas where I practice medicine. So Hawaii, Texas, California. So if you're looking for a medical appointment where I can prescribe and order labs and do all that kind of stuff, even doing like psychotherapy, that kind of stuff, that would be the test for the psychiatry. If you're looking for wellness, where you want me to redesign your lifestyle, talk you through the process of fixing your sleep, your self-care, your nutrition, all those wellness factors, then that would be the wellness consultation. So I can do that anywhere. The medical work has to be within the states I am licensed in or out of the country. Those rules don't apply. So if you're from another country, you can also choose a medical appointment if you want. Okay. You're welcome, Tom. Let's see. All right. So Ivan wants to know, can you talk about the diet backgrounds of people you've worked with? I've been on every variation of vegan diet, paleo, raw vegan, medical medium, animal-based, GAPS, etc., many supplements, herbs, healing practices. Now I found you with the specificity of your program. I can only hope it applies to me as well. Trying to heal acne, hair loss, back pain, and declining dental health. Yes, I've worked with people with all of those backgrounds. So I've worked with a lot of plant-based people who were not able to get results without hypernourishment, including a lot of plant-based celebrities. When they get sick, they'll come to me so that I can help them actually optimize their nourishment. I've helped people who are raw vegan, but not the kind that I'm teaching. And I help them get their health back. I've taught people help people came straight from carnivore, paleo, standard American diet. And I also have an international, clientele. So I work with people a lot from India, China, Middle East, all over the world, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, South America. Like everyone's got their cultural types of diets too. And I help people from all of those different backgrounds. And when I do wellness appointments, I try to cater my advice towards also the foods that you prefer versus how to optimize the way you eat them for health as well. But I understand what you need for cell function is very simple, just like the horses that I talked about in the beginning. And if you came late, you don't know what I'm talking about. The horses just eat the grass and everything in their body works. They make muscle, they have great energy, they feel good, they're able to do all the things, and they just are eating the grass. When we eat the right foods, our cell function works. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It shouldn't be complicated, right? We shouldn't have to macro count, calorie count. None of that makes sense in terms of just natural life. And so, yeah, it really is simple and it's specific and it's effective. And those are the things that I think matter most, right? Effective, especially. Okay. All right, Carrie. I've been doing hypernourishment for 5 weeks now, and I was doing so good. No lupus flares and no pain. So first of all, congratulations. That is very, very good, and that's why I'm here. All of a sudden, I just can't tolerate a smoothie. Is that normal? I've been eating more salads. I don't know why or what can't tolerate means. But if you're asking if it's okay to eat salads instead of smoothie, yes. As long as all that nourishment gets through this hole by the end of the day, it's good. Well, yours, not mine. Right? That's all. You just need to get the nourishment in. It can be smoothies, it can be salads, it can be just shoving broccoli full of guacamole in there like I did it originally all those years ago. All of those things will work. Okay. And congratulations again. No pain with lupus. Yes, it works. It works. It works. All right, let's see over here. All right. So this is an interesting one here. So Numero says, I started the Goodbye Autoimmune Protocol in an attempt to heal my body, CIRS, mold, and my legs are extremely in pain and weak. I ate chicken and it helped, ? Yeah. So it sounds like you might have been dipping into detox. So a lot of times when people first start, their symptoms get worse. And if you abort the detox process by eating something inflammatory, the weird thing is you feel better, even though you just got sicker. It's the same as if you've ever had a hangover from alcohol. The next day, when you're having the hangover, what makes a hangover feel instantly better is more alcohol. That's why they have Bloody Marys, right? So if you wake up with a hangover and I'm not saying for anyone to do this, please, but if you wake up with a hangover and you have more alcohol, you instantly feel better. but it's not because the alcohol didn't poison you. It's just a little bit more of the poison takes away the symptoms of the withdrawal that you're going through. So there's no magical cure of chicken improving people's health, only the opposite. But sometimes it can feel that way in the moment when you're trying to go through the healing process and you're feeling like garbage. If you continue to struggle, that'd be a good time to work with me. But I've seen that happen before. People keep aborting detox because they think they're getting worse. And then when they do rapid recovery with me, so I can watch them and be there with them during the process, and we push through those symptoms, healing's on the other side. Okay. Let's see. Purchase your videos following your protocol 16 days in. Before, I had recurrent miscarriages, and then I was diagnosed with lupus with no symptoms. Have been tested twice. Any thoughts? Now, sometimes people will have clotting antibodies from lupus, like antiphospholipid antibodies. I had those. That's why I had the mini strokes. So sometimes the first way that it shows up is through clotting, and that could cause miscarriages. So it might be, but being on my program is exactly what you do. Listen, it fixed me after 12 years, and I had literal mini strokes from having all those clotting antibodies. Was told I could never have children, it would kill me. And I have 2 amazing children, and I've never had a relapse. So you're exactly on the right plan. So, all right, everybody, we had my hour with you. And thank you to all of you who have been just sending me lovely messages and telling me that you come every week. To all of you that I got to meet last weekend. So last weekend, my husband, Thomas, and my son, Solomon, and I were all at a conference in Dallas. It was called the Best Plant-Based Conference Ever, which I thought was such a great name for a conference. Create the buzz, right? But there were so many of you who came up to me and said that you come every Wednesday, that you watch me in the tub at night, you watch the replay, that it's helped you, it's changing your life. And it just means so much to me to know that the work that I do and the time that I spend is helping you get better, because that's what I want. I want all of you to be able to live the life that you want to live. And if I can help you get there, then that's the greatest gift that lupus ever gave me. So I hope all of you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you next week, okay?